Hey, thanks for slithering in. Today's video is one that has been in the works for a very long time. If you follow me over on Instagram, you have probably seen some sneak peeks about this like a long time ago, and maybe even on Blue Sky. I think it's been maybe 2 months since I actually officially started this build, but we are doing a large family cottage in The Sims 4 on a 64 by 64 lot. Yikes. I never, ever, ever build on a 64 by 64 lot. Like, that is just insane behavior on my part for this one. However, I was really inspired by I think there was a reference photo that I kind of started off looking at. I might try and find it. Of course, I found it on Pinterest and just absolutely fell in love, as I usually do with like these cottage-like builds. And I just so happened to start building it on this gigantic lot. This is in the world of Ondarion, which is the new world with royalty and legacy. And I think the pack had just recently come out, and I use a lot of it plus the Tea Time Solarium kit that is bundled with that pack. Wow, lots of words here. However, I just had a lot of fun with it, and we are only doing the exterior part in this video because I have a ton of footage. And even at the point of me recording this voiceover, I have not even touched the tip of the iceberg of furnishing this build. For example, well, one here, we are working on like this first bit of the build where we are kind of doing almost like a greenhouse vibe, but this doesn't end up being the greenhouse. This is I don't wanna give it away just yet because that's gonna be in part 2, so hang on to the edge of your seats, but this is where I'm using a lot of the Tea Time Solarium kit. Those windows, we have some new roof patterns. That glass bit here that we're pulling out is part of that kit and the new windows, so I really wanted that to really come across here. I also really loved playing with, like, the green and red texture roof paints that we have going on. Those I think are both from the Royalty and Legacy expansion pack as well. But apologies, I think I got off on a bit of a tangent because I was talking about furnishing this gigantic, insane, amazing build of mine. I'm just patting myself on the back for this one because I just still am so much in love with it. But I have maybe furnished 15% of it so far, if I had to guess. It's a very, very large house. As you will see, it'll come together here. But we are kind of starting off with like just adding some random details. Like, I really didn't know at this point if this was a build that was actually going to stick for me. And when I do large builds like this, I need to take it like one chunk at a time. So I'll do like, you can see I have a bit of a sidewalk terrain paint happening leading away from the door, but I don't know where it's going to lead yet. And here I am getting like a little flower bed happening and trying to see what like bits of landscaping from Royalty and Legacy would work here that like makes my little brain just so happy. Like, it just scratches that little itch. Do you guys know that itch? If you're a builder in The Sims 4, I think you know that itch, but it just makes you feel so good, right? And we are now digging through debug, I think it looks like, too, to try and figure out which ones to use. But I have to do these like little bits and pieces and then kind of build off of it with large builds, which is actually almost a very different approach that I take versus when I'm building something smaller. When I'm building something smaller, maybe sometimes I'll do this, but for the most part, I'm trying to make sure the shell looks kind of interesting and fun and unique or different, because I tend to use a lot of the same like L shape and things. And I know you can do a lot with just that, as we've seen shell challenges, but usually it's the shell for me with the smaller homes that make or break. But with this, I just needed to make sure I knew exactly where I was going. So we get a full flower bed out here, and then we will slowly start to add on. With that said, I hope you all are doing very well. This is probably going to be a very yappy video, so if you want to skip around or do so, feel free. I do have a walkthrough at the very end that you can watch that is like marked with one of those chapter thingamajigs, so you can probably see that. But right now we're working on some terrain paint. But I was asking you how you were. Oh my god, I swear I just get so distracted when I start watching myself build and I'm trying to talk to you guys. But we are like, I think almost halfway through April at this point, which is kind of crazy because I feel like the new year literally just happened. Like, wasn't it just January? I don't know. But hopefully the weather's a little nicer now. This is me from the past. So the week I'm recording this, it's been very rainy, and I'm not against that because April showers bring May flowers, you know, and the leaves are starting to come back on the trees, which is my favorite part of spring and this time of year. So I'm really excited about that. And we have less cold days too. We still have a few cold days here and there, but you know, we'll take it because every once in a while we get a nice crisp 60 to 70 degree day, and that's in 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that I am happy with that little start of the build, I have started building out the rest of the house. And this is when I quickly realized, ooh, yeah, she's gonna be a big one. So I definitely really leaned into like the English cottage vibe. Like we have this main like two-story box here that gives off that English cottage vibe. And I really like it. And we add a couple of dormers up there, and it really evolves later on in the build because I didn't quite know how I wanted that to look. I kind of at first wanted it to kind of look flat and then have all the interest like on the sides and behind it and all that good stuff and with landscaping and stuff. And then I think eventually I get like some porch out there and even like maybe a bump out or two because bump outs can save a build, okay? I was also really interested in possibly doing a bit of a courtyard moment. So I kind of wanted the build to kind of wrap around a little bit. And oh boy, was I kicking myself during this part. I was like, Symtherin, what are you doing? But also, I was like, let me cook, okay? Like I don't get to do build. Not that I don't get to, I just tend to stay away from them only because of the time commitment. Cuz okay, usually let's talk about these big builds. Usually I like, as you guys can probably tell by my voiceovers, I can go from topic to topic and just like be like never finish a thought, right? You've probably noticed that, especially if you've been around for a minute. I literally did it like 2 seconds ago, okay? But I do that with builds a lot. Like, if I am trying to commit to a larger build, I really feel like I have to finish a good chunk of it in the first sitting if I'm ever going to finish it again. This one, and this is probably why it's taken me 2+ months at this point to finish this build. And I'm not even finished it with it yet. As I'm sitting here talking to you, right? Like it's not even done. It's not even close to being finished. So it's kind of really funny in that sense that my voiceovers are a lot like my building like routines or habits. Maybe habits is more of the correct word there. And I don't know. Let me know what you guys do in the comments down below because I feel like a lot of us, some builders really prefer the bigger builds like this, some really prefer keeping it tiny. And I'm curious what your building habits are when it comes to the size of your builds. The front of the build now is starting to get a little bit of character, and we're doing so with some platforming and to try and kind of have a step up and try and create layers to this build. I think because it's such a big build, I definitely needed to make sure that there were layers to it. Otherwise, it would just look way too flat. And that includes windows, right? So I guess the theme of this build is just layering. Okay. So I layered terrain paint. I'm layering with like different heights and platform tools, etc. And now I'm layering types of windows because I use a lot from cottage living. I use some from base game, tea time solarium, and I think maybe others. I just can't remember off the top of my head right now, so you'll have to wait and see. Um, I think like maybe growing together or here's some cottage living ones. I really I wish I knew, but it took me. a bit of a time to really figure out how I wanted these windows to look. As you can see, I am leaving all of this in, which maybe in hindsight, not the greatest idea because now you have to sit through it all. But like I've always said, I really like leaving all of this in, or at least most of it in. If I'm just like sitting still looking at a build, that's when I try to be like, okay, um, let's kind of cut some of this out. But like I think it's just very realistic to kind of see the different attempts that builders do, and it just shows that like we all sometimes just have those moments where like we just can't find anything that works. Like you saw, we kind of skipped a little bit and now we have some windows. I also sometimes, even though I leave all of these things in, I also sometimes feel like when I'm really struggling with it, I need to like stop recording for a little bit and just kind of sit and try things. And then sometimes I forget to start recording again. So that is a little bit of a flaw for me. But now we are adding some details like some ivy along the build. We go literally all around the build. I don't know how much of that I keep in. Some other details you might be noticing that I didn't film are some roofing details. Well, right now we're getting some of these cottage living. I think these are cottage living ones. Yeah, I love these. Like, they look like beams, but they're my absolute favorite. But in some of the doors back here, especially around the courtyard, we have like more platforms and little half gable roofs. At least I think they're half gable roofs. I can never remember exactly the term, so don't mind me. And then we are now building out the shape of the courtyard here. And even at this point, I'm like, oh God, what am I going to do with the rest of this lot? You can see kind of towards the back there, we have a bit of a greenhouse little bump out happening. So that will be furnished later. Pretty much anything on the interior, I am going to show you guys in a second part. And I'm really excited for it. Obviously, I still have to finish it, and I'm going to keep saying that. But let's talk about this part because I decided to do like a little custom fountain thingamajig. And I thought this was super cute. I think this fountain in particular is from the Tea Time Solarium kit. I have not talked about that kit enough. Okay, I think it kind of got maybe a little overshadowed by the Royalty and Legacy pack because that kit and a Create Sim kit that I cannot even remember for the life of me right now. Both of those came out at the same time as the Royalty and Legacy. They were bundled together and it was kind of like a forgetful moment. I feel like at least I forgot about it because there were a lot of new features that came with Royalty and Legacy. So that was at least my experience. But don't sleep on this kit, guys. Just do not sleep on this kit, which I probably put a disclaimer on the screen earlier, but I should mention again that I was gifted this pack and those two kits by the Sims team through the Sims Creator Program. So I just need to draw that out again. I know it's kind of late in the video, but I guess better late than never. Figuring out the terrain paint back here was a little bit of a learning curve, and even some of like the edges I couldn't figure out. Maybe it's because I used a round brush and I don't typically use the rounded brushes. I usually use these like square shapes in my builds, and I was like not loving it because the edges just looked it wasn't my cup of tea. So I think I ultimately leave more of the square shaping. It doesn't really feel too symmetrical, and I think that was also something I struggled with because of the door placements and stuff, and where I have like these little gates. I think those gates might be from the fairy pack, if I am not mistaken. So yeah, it's a very kind of weird, like as you can see, I keep undoing things. So my solution was let's just do a different dirt path over here to connect the two fences and forget about connecting it to the courtyard part. At this point in my building process, I think I have already gone over to Instagram and asked my followers over there what kind of activities are perfect for like this kind of build and this like large 64 by 64 lot, which if one of you or any of you had like given me some ideas for that, thank you. I feel like I used almost all of them because I had a lot of space here. So, first of all, obviously a pond. I think this filled up the space very well. And then someone else suggested perhaps some stables because since it's like a very Englishy cottage, maybe having horses would be kind of cool. And I was like so in because I absolutely love horses in The Sims. And Horse Ranch is one of my favorite packs because of the build items. So I was so totally down for doing that. So that's what we're working on over here. I wanted to make sure I can fit at least two horses here. If you wanted to fit more, you probably could because it's such a large lot. They could just probably sleep elsewhere, maybe. So I don't know, maybe if that's okay with you, I suppose, or they take turns sleeping. But you can definitely have two horses here, which is a big, big plus, and we are leaning a lot into Horse Ranch, obviously, as well over here. And we're just going to get some details and stuff. So, back to my Instagram little thing there. I have recently actually fallen back in love with Instagram. I feel like we've had a bit of a like love-hate relationship for a little bit where I wasn't feeling very inspired. I think I got burnt out from Instagram a little bit, and I do have to share, oh my god, we just completely redid that stables. And because I did all those voiceover parts, I'm not going to redo it. Back to Instagram though. See what I mean about like not finishing my thought before like going to another one? It's really awful and I'm sorry you guys listen to it. But I'm also like if you are listening to it, I'm very grateful. You guys are so supported. You awesome. You awesome. Anyway, back to Instagram. So I've kind of like not put too much effort into my little Simstagram, although that is literally my account with the most followers at this point in my little sim content creation journey, whatever you want to call this thing that we're doing over here. Um, but I really like Instagram. I've actually like in the past before, like long before I did any sim content online and things, I tried like a almost like a writer's Instagram page. I'm not gonna share the name up here because it wasn't that good, but like for a while there, it was like popping off and it was pretty like impressive. And I was like, hey, I can do this Instagram thing. I got this, right? But eventually that died off because I don't know, just life reasons, I suppose. And then here we are with Sims. I'm telling you a lot and we're going around in circles. All to say, if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, I'm doing a lot of fun things over there. I'm trying to get followers more involved in my build process in real time if I can, and post more stories of like little snippets of my life. I don't know. I've just been really enjoying doing stuff over there recently. So if you're there, come say hi. Again, I'm sorry, that was a really long story about Instagram for no real reason, but we have the official shape of our stables out here. I think it is super cute. I think it came together very nicely, and I really loved decorating the interior. Like I said, there's like a few types of things I really like to do in The Sims, like decorating wise, and that's like one, horse stables or around horse stables because I don't know, the debug menu with Horse Ranch is just top tier and I love that vibe. I just love it so so much. And then the other one is cottage living because same debug and like kind of like the farm living type aesthetic I think is really cute. I guess cottage core, ranch core, you can say are like my top two favorite styles and stuff. I do like modern too, but like I don't tend to navigate towards them. I'm really like old school, really old school. Taking a break from the horse stable area right now, another suggestion was having some like farmland, and I think that was kind of a no-brainer here. So back here, I wanted to put it kind of where our greenhouse is, and we're getting some sprinklers, and this is pretty much the starting point. I guess we'll fence it in and everything too and add a lot of details as you'll see really soon. But I really like how this area came out. We get, I think, a like stock table, like one of those you can like sell your things on. And I thought that would be cool to maybe invite people over, do like a little, I don't know, maybe a mini farmer's market. I think like with this lot, you will never have to leave. Never. There are so many skill building activities here. Like, I don't know, you can maybe even do off the grid. I do put like some wind turbines, and there's definitely more room to add like maybe the water collector item and maybe even more solar panels and things like that. So maybe if you're doing like a off the grid legacy or rags to riches, this is like a build you can work up to. I think that might be actually kind of fun to do, perhaps. I don't know. You guys can let me know. Another suggestion was a picnic area, and I thought that it would be really cute right over here near the pond and kind of near the garden. I don't know, I just thought it would be adorable. So we end up getting a picnic blanket somewhere. I think from Love Struck is that one. But first, we're grabbing Patchy. We're getting like the little tree log where all the bunnies come out of. We also had another suggestion for a playground, which we're going to do in a little bit too. But first, let's finish the picnic area. We add a picnic basket. I think I get a poof and maybe a book and stuff and other details. But someone else even suggested maybe a playground area for the children, which actually I probably need to build a park sometime soon because I've never actually used these modular playground like items since Adventure Awaits came out. Like, I have not touched these things. So I end up doing a pre-built one anyway because there's not too much room back here and I just wanted a little something, but I thought this was kind of cute to do too. And yeah, that's how that came out. I thought that was fun, but pretty much I need to do a playground and that'll probably be in our near future. So if you have suggestions of what world you need a playground in, definitely let me know. I would love to hear it. Or if you want me to redo a park, like maybe the one in Willow Creek or Oasis Springs would be fun. I've never really done that, so we'll see. Over here is our little livestock area. I thought it'd be really good also next to the greenhouse and like the garden area. I felt like that was pretty common. So we get a couple of chicken coops here and a couple of animal sheds. So you can have a llama, a cow, two llamas, two cows, etc. Now we're going to add some detail into our little garden area and we get some stepping stones. I think this is from Riviera Retreat kit. Do I keep those? I guess not. I think maybe I decide not to and just use terrain paint because at this point I was like, how many packs do I want to use? Although I have not limited my pack. Nope, I did not limit any pack usage for this one, and I sincerely apologize for that. I can't remember if I mentioned to you all yet if this build is unfurnished and on the gallery. If I didn't, this is me mentioning it to you right now. It is. My gallery ID is Symtherin, in case you are wondering. It's in the description down below as well, in case you didn't catch that, but it's always down there. It's actually been up on the gallery for quite some time now. I've just been really delayed with getting this out to you guys, and I am so, so sorry. I've been working on like the other projects and things, and I'm finally sitting down and getting this together. Now I just have to finish furnishing it. But what else do we get in here? We get some bee boxes. I think I get the insect boxes. Like, I'm telling you, literally anything you need in this build. You got it. You can have it, and there's still probably room to add more. That's the crazy part. We get like this tree stump with all the birds that can come and help your garden. The bunnies can help your garden as you like befriend them. I can't remember if the insects or bees help, but maybe. And then of course Patchy's there too. If you talk to Patchy enough, Patchy pretty much comes alive and can help you. It's like an NPC kind of situation, kind of like the Bone Hilda and the Grim Reaper kind of, Agnes Crumplebottom type stuff. So Patchy can help tend your garden and water your stuff. I don't know if Patchy can help with the livestock, but maybe. If not, you can also hire someone to do that. I think you can hire a ranch hand or something and make sure they do all of that good stuff. So here is my second favorite part where we get to decorate the livestock area with a bunch of debug items and just make this look really cottage core and like animals are living here. I honestly would not mind one day to have a little tiny farm for myself. I don't think I want a huge one. I think I just want enough to like maybe just for me and my boyfriend to live off of it. And obviously, we talk all the time about like if we could one day just afford it and just have a bunch of land where we can have elder cats and dogs come and just live out the rest of their days in peace and nature and just have a good time. Like I would love to do that. He would love to do that too. We talk about it literally all the time. I just think it's really, really sweet. And I hope maybe one day, who knows? That's a bit of a goal, I guess. We're kind of far from it at this point. But we are getting some hay bales in like these debug things from Horse Ranch, I think. I think it's from Horse Ranch. I didn't quite see a stool. We got a milk pail over there, kind of like maybe that's for easy access when you start milking your cow. There is a fountain in the middle of here. It's a debug fountain, I think from Royalty and Legacy, if I'm not mistaken. And that was kind of like imagine your livestock just drinking out from under there. Okay, we are on to another suggestion from someone on Instagram, and they were like, "Ooh, a wine cellar or something." And I was like, where would I put that? Where would I put that? And I was like, oh, under the stables. How fun. So that's what we're going to work on right now. And we're sticking like a little staircase over here. I'm blocking it off so that it's not like too out in the open, I guess. And we'll go in the basement in quite a little bit to kind of furnish that up and get all of the wine making skills here. I'm telling you, there would be no need to leave this lot unless you're going to like the cottage living fairs or something of that nature, or training a horse, or I don't know, going on a date or something. But you can even do that here. There's a great picnic area for it, right? So we are moving some items to the entryway here. I'm trying to figure out what items I want to put in here. The layout was a little tricky for quite a moment, but eventually I think we figure it out, and I actually really love how it came out. We also get a lot of items from the restoration kit, I think too. Like there was a woodworking bench, I believe, and just some storage decorations. Not too much is like functional in here. I do get a couple of sinks though, because I think that's important if you are going to be handling the horses a little bit. You probably want to wash your hands, and I guess maybe it would be good to have one over. Maybe I can put one in the greenhouse because you'll probably want to sink when you're handling the livestock too. Hmm. That is a very good observation, Symtherin. Anyway, we are getting a shelf here. This is where I'm going to put some trophies and things. Like, my thought process for this build was like, there's already an established family here. So I felt like I could put the trophies up and put those kind of things, like they've already earned this. They've already done the work. They've already like they're living life. They're living their best lives. But with that said, if you do get your own, you can always delete the ones I put and put your own, and etc. Or, pretend that they are yours. However you play is up to you. But I really ultimately, that's where my head was at. We are getting like a storage bin over here. I think this moves, and then this is where we get like a workbench over here. Because I was like, I could probably use this space for some like actual skill building stuff. And we even get like a little ball out here for the horses to play with. There's also one outside, kind of in their like little private yard, I guess I'm calling it, because you can only get into like the horse training area if you walk through the stables here and out the doors that you can see right here. I have to keep pausing to hydrate, so here's your reminder to make sure to drink some water and or take a sip of whatever cozy beverage you are sipping on currently, or save your game if you are building along right now. But this is where I am putting a lot of the items from the restoration kit, as you can see, and I think it kind of fits here. I think it worked, and it's good to have like more useful space, I think, in the game too. We'll just add a couple of lights here and some columns to try and break up the stable part. I think we get spandrels. Yes, we do. And I don't know. I really like how these stables came out. I think that like they're really cute. and I'm really happy with it. So yay, yay me. Back here we are adding some landscaping now. What I just put down is like these grass items that like horses and maybe other animals could chew on and munch on and eat. Um, you could probably have like sheep and goats if you want over here too. That might be fun. So, and you can probably lock the door to kind of keep them in this fenced area if you'd like, or even just the stable area, because I know they can like kind of get everywhere. I guess it's the same for like the chickens and stuff, because I think they can just walk through your house. Personally, I don't think in real life that would be like too ideal because of like I guess you don't want a chicken walking through your kitchen. But also, I wouldn't care because I'm on the camp where my dogs and cats have full range of all the furniture. Like they live here, and if I have visitors who get mad about dog hair and cat hair, like then don't come to my house. That's literally where I'm at because like they're family. They live here. This is literally their home. They can sit on the couch. They can sleep in my bed. And I know there's like training things against that and stuff, but I, I don't care. That's all I want is a cuddly little pet. That's all I want and I like it. So, we're keeping it that way. Now we are finishing the little picnic area here. As you can probably tell, I jump around a lot with this build because I would get kind of tired of working on an area or get stuck or something. And I'd be like, okay, let me go and play around over here for a little bit. And that really helped with getting this build together. So we added some details over here. And now we are working on our wine cellar. We get a little archway into it. We even get like a half bath in here, which I think is very useful because I don't know. I just think like if I come down here to make wine and I'm stomping on grapes and stuff, I'm probably going to want to clean up. I didn't put a shower in here though, because I say it like that, but like, I don't know. I guess you can pretend. Because technically with Sims, you can just wash your hands a million times. Did I put a shower? Wait, I did put a shower. Oh my god, look at me go. That is awesome. I hope it stays there. I have to actually go back and look. I already filmed the walkthrough that you're going to see in a little bit, and I can't remember seeing it, but it probably was there and I was just blind. So if you go and watch the walkthrough, let me know if you see it. Thanks. Okay, anyway, we are going to get some decor here. I wanted to make sure there was plenty of wine racks around too, some that are functional and some that are more decorative. So we have some next to like the little wine crate. No, not wine crate. The one that the winemaker, the skill, you know, that item, the one that gives you the skill, literally. I don't even know what it's called, but we have some over there and we have some over here. And then we get a lot of like clutter items from garden to table. I think those work very well in this build because there's like somewhat baskets with little ingredients. So maybe you like were growing grapes and came over here and like, you know, brought your little basket down or something. There's a VIP bucket down here. I was like, maybe if you have a date after your picnic, you come down here and taste some wine. I think that would be so so sweet. Also what's really fun on this lot, like behind it, if you look, there's just like fields of like grapevines. So maybe you can even imagine that this lot is part of that and you just like this family just owns all of that, all the whole vineyard. Like you can call it a vineyard if you want. I think that would be a kind of really cool like gameplay kind of thing to play out and stuff. So we are adding some more details around here. Over here is like the little archery area because that was another suggestion from someone on Instagram. So I thought that was really cool to add. And now I'm using these Journey to Batu rocks that I no, they're not Journey to Batu. Sorry, these are Horse Ranch. So don't worry about Batu. But I used them to kind of frame our dirt path a little bit to make it look a little more intentional since this is a more established kind of home and stuff. So I really thought that kind of tied a lot of the outdoor areas together. And at the very end here, we are going to start working on furnishing the courtyard because I think everything else at this point we're good. So we get some decorative planters over here. We get a lot of lavender. My boyfriend and I are actually we want to plant a bunch of lavender in our backyard this year because lavender is good for helping to keep the flies away. And when you have dogs, and I mean, we like to walk them outside a lot, outside of the yard as much as we can. But, sometimes when they gotta go. And they're gonna go in the yard, right? So, because they're not going in the house. No, no, no. They can go on my furniture, but they can't go in the house. Okay. But the lavender can definitely help with like the flies. And I'm not saying that like we keep the poop just sitting around either. I should mention that cuz that's kind of what it sounds like, and that's not what's happening, but you know what I mean. If you have dogs, you know. But yes, here I tried to use fences to kind of frame some of the like flower landscaping areas, but like because I did the landscaping without the grid on, it just wasn't really working too well. So I was like, it doesn't matter. I think we're good. We layered the terrain paint, and I think that's enough. We get a nice little fire pit over here by the fountain. And then I was trying to figure out what to do over on this side. We do have some vertical planters, which I think works very well over here, but also a little like grilling area. I can't remember the name of this kit. Is this the garden to table kit? This is the garden to table kit. That's the one. Okay. So that's what I use here. We end up getting it on a platform. Again, layers, right? I told you that is the theme of the build. Oh, I even thought about putting this table out here, but I didn't like how the chair and table combo looked here, and I was like, it's too busy, go away. Okay, and I just yeet it. Okay, but layers is what I was talking about. We get layers here again with the platform. I raise all of this up and I separate it with some of those benches, but maybe you don't see it because maybe I got annoyed and stopped recording. And we're back towards the front of the build now. Over here, I just get this cute little pergola. I think this one is also from the Tea Time Solarium kit. And then we get some seating. We get this coffee table. I can't remember what pack that's from. It might be City Living or something like that. Oh no. If I'm wrong, yell at me in the comments below, please. But yeah, we get a nice little cute little seating area here. I just really didn't know what else to put. And then I think we even get another fountain area that you'll see in quite a little bit. I'm just figuring out which chairs to pair with this sofa. The sofa's from one of the like outdoor patio kits or stuff packs or something. It's getting really hard to keep track of all of this, and that yeah. So I don't know. That's that's pretty much it. Hopefully, I haven't been way too yappy for you all, and I don't know if you're still here. I really appreciate you. Like, you guys don't understand. It's really hard sometimes to get like watch time and stuff. And even though I'm monetized, but just it's hard. It's hard sometimes. But anyway, let's go to live mode and check out the build. All right, I'm here in live mode to give you a bit of a tour of the outside. At this point, I have started some of the interior, so if you see a sneak peek, don't say a word, okay? Like, our sim here is already going to, like, clean stuff inside the house, so he's doing his thing. But let's look at the outside. I really adore the landscaping around this build and the layering of the terrain paints. I'm actually very proud of that. Here is our fountain and like kind of extra seating space around the front here. I think this came out kind of cute. It was a little awkward space, so at first I wasn't quite sure what to do with it. When we come this way, here is our first little, I guess, kind of skill building activity. We have a couple of art easels here, so you can have like maybe an art club and sell everyone's paintings. You can even fit more art easels here if you wanted to. All right, look, he is sitting here now, which is great. And he's gone. He's just doing his own thing. Can't blame him. Actually, I'm going to ask him to come back. I want to make sure this archery section works. I don't know if he canceled that on purpose, but how rude of him. Okay, so Can you get to this one? No. Our first troubleshooting moment, folks. Let's do this. I wonder if I just scoot them back a little bit, because maybe he just has to get on this line here. Let's try it. Okay, he can do this one, which means this guy probably has to come a little back. Maybe I can scoot the bush a little bit. I'm not too mad about it clipping though. That's not gonna bother me too much. I don't think you have any archery skill. I don't even know who you are actually. Francis Ship. Yeah, let's see. Actually, not too shabby. Let's try this other one just to make sure we are good to go on both. You can like archery. That doesn't bother me at all. Let's try. No, that you still can't get to this one. Instead, I'm going to try pushing this bush back a little bit. That'll do it. We're good. How's your aim on this one though? Oh, still not too bad. All right. Well, over here we have kind of our courtyard areas. So we have a swing set over here. We have this like custom pond, which I keep like trying to make this look centered, but I don't know. It's as close as it can be, I guess. Over here is a little grill area, so I want to make sure we can use this one. I guess if he cleans it, maybe I don't have to actually cook something. That should mean that he should be able to cook on here pretty easily, so that is fun. We can light a little fire over here and get cozy at night. I think this would be such a cool place to sit. Oh my god. Look at this guy. Okay, well, don't catch yourself on fire, but imagine sitting here at night with like maybe the stars across the sky. I think this would just be so cute and cozy in the summer. Then we have this little pathway, some more landscaping. We have our pond here with our little duckies. So cute. Over here we have a little picnic area. So maybe we can see if he can come and sit here. I don't know how woohooing would work on this blanket with all the clutter and stuff on here, but you can remove those if you would like. You just want to light up all the fireplaces. Crazy. All right, over here is our little gardening area. So we have all of our sprinklers going. I'm gonna turn them all off right now. I don't think we need those on per se right now because we don't have any seeds planting over here. We have Patchy here to help us if we want. There's bunnies maybe hopping around somewhere. A little bee box, like we have birds here. All of these things that I think can help your garden. Oh, there's our little bunny over here by the butterfly box here from, I think that came from Adventure Awaits. Here's our bee box actually over here. Those over here instead are insects. And then we have like this little table here where if you stock it up with things, you can maybe sell your goods. Back here. Oh my god, our llama here is filthy. And so is our cow over here too. That is so sad. And maybe we can feed all of our chickens too at some point. But this is where all of your livestock would go. There are going to be some weird clipping things like this cow clipping into the chicken coop. But like I said, I'm personally okay with that. If you're not, you can get rid of one of the chicken coops and I think you should be okay. Oh my god, all of these animals are so hungry. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I just literally can't live with myself if I don't take care of these animals and just kind of ignore them. So we are going to definitely get them some food around and cleaned up and all fed so that they're at least in a better mood anyway. Oh my god, it looks like the cow is kind of drinking the water even though I know he's not. But like you can pretend. That actually looks kind of cool if they happen to do that. Who knows? This area is really cute. I really do enjoy this area, but I also love decorating like with the cottage living stuff. So, okay, I think our animals are feeling a little better over here. So we can move on. We'll come back this way. Over here is like a little playground area. I don't think our adult Slim can do anything, but let's see. No, I guess he can. He just can't interact with maybe that like tic-tac-toe item over there. I've never actually used the modular playgrounds. I have to build playgrounds in this game still. Ooh, that was fun. Okay, cool. That worked very well for us. And the last part I'm going to show off is our little horse stable. I do not have a horse with us here, but you can feed. You have a couple of feeders over here. Actually, what if we adopt a horse and try this out? We should probably do that. Okay, well, we will call the Ranch Animal Exchange here. We're gonna rescue a horse because we are team rescue over here. Oh, we have Arcade. We have Frosty, Grits, Rebel, Turtle. Oh, so cute. And we have Scout. I do want to try an adult horse, but I don't know if I want one that is maybe defiant. Is there one that's not defiant? You guys are all defiant. Let's do Frosty. He's got a cute hat. Oh my god. Actually, gorgeous, gorgeous horse. Okay, great. So let's get Frosty back here probably. Let's take a look at our stables here. Oh my god. I love how the stables came out. I should probably have let's fill the feeder back here. He also needs to get some clothes on because I don't know why it's starting to get cold, but I don't know why you just want to walk around in your swimwear. How about you ask your horse to eat? Make sure this comes and works back here. Okay, we're having some trouble getting the horse somewhere. So let's see if you can ask horse to come here. Is it because the horse is defiant or it's walking through here? Okay, there we go. Look at that. We have a horse in the stable. There's a cat trying to get into my office. Hold on. Hopefully now she'll try to stay here and get cozy instead of trying to get out again. But whatever. We're going to ask the horse to eat again. Make sure we can get it over here. Okay, I think we're good. I think we are good. We should probably maybe try this too. I think it's pretty well lit too at night, I should say. I don't think it's too bad. Look at the little rose. Oh my god, that's so cute. Okay, we are mounted. Let's practice barrels. Let's see what this looks like. Oh no, you're defiant. I know. Let's try it though. Okay. It doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look bad at all, actually. I think this works out really, really well. I think you can unmount or dismount. Unmount is not a word. But last thing I want to show you guys is underneath the stables, we have a little basement area where we do have a bathroom, a little half bath, and some wine making. So let's purchase some grapes, I suppose, and maybe craft some grape nectar and make sure that this skill down here works. Oh no, he was bucked off the horse and we missed it. I'm so sorry we missed that. Okay, well this is working well down here too, which is great. And then you have some wine racks here, so whatever you do make, you can stick in here, and it ages better in the basement versus anywhere else on your lot. Yep, so we got some grape nectar. It's poor, but I will stick it in one of these here, so that we're all good. I like how the decorations came out down here too. It's like very like you can take someone down here to taste some wine and stuff, but I thought it was cute. So this is exactly what I meant by the nighttime view on this like little campfire area too. So I just wanted to show this to you guys before I actually call it. Look at Frosty playing over here. And maybe this is a good angle to leave our video off for today. So thank you all for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this part 1. Definitely subscribe if you want to see part 2. That'll be coming out shortly. Ring the notification too so that you are alerted when that does get uploaded and posted. And as always, thank you to my channel members for supporting me in this way. You guys rock. And until next time, bye! Oh, and just a reminder, this build is available on the gallery unfurnished. Gallery ID is Symtherin.